All right, so today I want to give you a 15-minute listing refresh to get you more clicks, more visits, more views, all the things. And the thing that we have to keep in mind with SEO, it's a living, breathing thing. It always is kind of getting tweaked, getting changed. But not only that, buying behaviors change. We got AI overviews. So search intent, keywords matter, and all those things come into play with our SEO and learning our niche better and improving. So these 4 steps I'm going to give you today will definitely help you kind of align things better and make tweaks and improvements to get more traffic. So the first step is timing. This is the first thing that we have to consider. How long has your listing been up and what are the stats? So we have our listings up and they're not performing. So when should we tweak them? When should we make those adjustments? The time frame I like to give is 3 to 6 months, 1 to 2 renewal cycles. Well, renewal cycle is 4 months, so I guess really realistically like 4 to 8 months. But the thing to think about is a lot of people make changes too fast, and every time you make a change, it resets the algorithm, and the algorithm has to reanalyze that change and kind of reindex that listing and re-find the traffic. So more often than not, rapid changes and too many changes can end up hurting performance and not helping it. Now, changes can help performance and changes do matter if you're being strategic with them. And a lot of the stuff that I teach and talk about is being strategic with the changes that you're making and the actions that you're taking in your business. You should always have a reason behind what you're doing and not just do it willy-nilly. That's how you get in trouble, and that's how people make changes and their traffic dive bombs, because they just do it and they don't kind of think through it first. So usually after 4 to 8 months, 1 to 2 renewal cycles, we want to look at that listing stats and we want to kind of see where we're at as far as visits go. Not views, visits. Visits are unique visitors coming to your shop. Views are not as important because I want more unique visitors. I don't want people one person looking at listings multiple times. So like if you walk into Walmart and look at one thing, that's 1 visit, 1 view. If you walk into Walmart and look at 2 things, that's 1 visit, 2 views. Same thing with your shop. So more people going into the store is more important. So if you look at your listing and you look at your stats and your visits are down, that's a good indication that it's probably an SEO problem or it could be a picture problem. Now, also keep in mind, the average conversion rate is around 1%. So for every 100 visits that you get, that means 100, for every 100 visits, that means 1 sale. That's a 1% conversion rate. So that's just something to keep in the back of your mind. Conversion varies between niches, between pricing, but that's just kind of a baseline for you to help understand this. So if you're after 4 months, you're looking at your listing, you have 5 visits, people are not clicking into that listing. Again, it's probably an SEO or a picture problem. Now, after that same time frame, if you have 60 visits, all right, you're getting decent traffic. You're just not to the threshold yet where you know if it's another issue. So give it more time. Don't make changes. Now, if you go in there after 4 months and you got like 150 visits, there's another problem going on. You're getting a lot of traffic. People are clicking into it. It's probably not an SEO problem. It's probably a conversion problem, meaning it's a pricing issue, confusion, something like that. So that's what you have to consider first and foremost, is where you're at on those different thresholds before you make changes, because it could end up hurting you and not helping you. Now, I do go through this in depth inside my Etsy VIP Games community. We do SEO here. We do group coaching calls. I do a one-on-one coaching call with you. We have traffic challenge going on right now. You get an app and there's training for a week, and then you get the traffic challenge accountability platform. But inside here, inside the Etsy Success Roadmap, there's a lot of courses in here, but I have a whole Etsy listing success formula that goes kind of through this in more detail to give you those specific things to look at inside your listing. So that's below if you want to take advantage of that, but that's kind of your starting point. Step 2 is review the thumbnail with the title. You want to make sure that you're matching search intent. So it could be your SEO is okay, but you're just not matching search intent. So let me give you an idea of what I'm talking about here. So if I go into Etsy and I'm just looking at random listings right now, we want to make sure that our thumbnail picture matches search intent directly. And this is where Etsy changed the title thing, basically saying your titles are too long, shorten them. What they're really talking about is people are not matching search intent with their title, so it's causing confusion, and therefore people aren't clicking into the listing. If they really wanted to lower the title length, they would lower the character count. So titles still allow you to get a lot of keywords in there to find traffic. So just make sure, and a lot of people went and changed their titles and it hurt their performance. So make sure you're just matching search intent. If you have more keywords in there after that, to me, that's totally fine. Those are opportunities to be found. So I'm not as worried about shorting my titles. I'm more worried about matching search intent better. So when you're looking at these pictures here, you just want to make sure your first, the first 35, 40 keywords or 3 to 5 keywords are matching search intent. They're not like filler keywords. They're not something that's confusing to buyers. So like this is a birthday crown, and it says first baby birthday crown. All right. And this is a birthday crown, right? Linen dinner plate napkins. All right. That matches. 7-inch gold, silver, Mila letter. That could be kind of confusing, right? I'm not sure what that means. I mean, these are like balloons. Cupcake and cake toppers. All right. That makes sense. Freestanding wooden family blank. So I would make that make a little bit more sense. Move the more specific keywords up towards the beginning of the title. So freestanding wooden family birthday sign. So I would do family birthday sign wooden freestanding or something. You can do the arrangement, change the arrangement. It's not going to hurt you in terms of SEO if you're still getting those keywords in there. So just look at your listings and make sure the first keywords are matching search intent the best, because when buyers are shopping, they're looking at that and their brains are reading and matching the picture with that. So it's really, really important. So that's the second step, because that could definitely hurt your traffic. The third step is the setup of your keywords in your listing. And this is probably the most important. So you want to make sure to have your root keyword, and this is just an easy way to kind of think about this. Have your root keyword and then keyword support. So whatever your main long tail keyword is, and then you're having other keywords in the title supporting that root keyword. Same thing, other keywords in your description and in your tags. All of that is supporting your root keyword, which is usually a more specific combination of keywords that tell what your listing is and who it's for. So there's a couple of different ways to kind of think about this for your setup in terms of your listing. So the first is specific keywords with lateral reach. And this you can put in your titles, tags, and descriptions. So what do I mean? So this is like a good example of this is, all right, so say we have like a lion shirt that has a motivational quote on it. That's for like the gym. So a specific long tail keyword to start out our listing is motivational lion face quote shirt, right? And then we're going to support that with other lateral terms. And these are still kind of specific. Workout animal shirt gift for him, inspirational beast shirt. So those are supporting this most important long tail keyword. So that's one way to kind of think about that. And then you're going to also break this out into tags, match these into tags, put some more because you can fit a lot more tags in. And then you're going to also have these keywords naturally flowing in your description when you're talking about what the item is, who it's for, why they should buy it. The second way is broad reach. And you can do this again in your titles, tags, descriptions. So a good example of this is we can broaden out a little bit. And this is expanding our reach. Conversion is probably going to be lower. It's not matching buyer intent as well, but it's still another strategy that you can try. So we're making this a little bit more broad. We're going to do a motivational gym lover shirt. We're taking out the lion. We just want to appeal to people that are looking for motivational shirts. It just so happen to have a lion on it. Fitness gear, workout top, inspirational quote tee. So this is all targeting the workout niche and clothing and people that want inspirational type, motivational type stuff, but it's a little bit more broad, but all of this is supporting, the broader keyword. Now, bottom of the funnel, high search intent reach. And this is the biggest shift that I've seen with AI overviews. People are writing stuff to be picked up by AI. And they're thinking how can I write this for AI? That's the mistake. That's not how you should be thinking about it. You should be thinking about it, how can I write stuff for buyer search intent better? Because AI has doing a much better job of matching the search results with buyer intent than the other algorithms have done in the past. So the better you're writing your stuff for search intent, the more often you're going to show up in ChatGPT and AI overview. So that's how you think about it. Write it better for the customer, and you're going to get better at showing up in AI. So and the best way to do this is going to be in your description, because you can write different scenarios matching search intent in your description. So think about who is buying your item and why are they searching for it and how are they searching for it. And that's the scenarios that we want to put in our description. So here is an example. You can add why you should buy this or who this is perfect for section in your description and target all of the bottom of the funnel high search intent scenarios. Because a lot of people aren't necessarily going to only write like, I want a motivational quote workout shirt. A lot of people are going to start writing more specific search terms, or at least get there and when they keep asking for other things, they're going to get to that bottom of the funnel. So if you're targeting the bottom of the funnel, the people that are searching that way are going to find your item. They're much more likely to buy than the other people. So for instance, with this item, you can write perfect for, and I wouldn't necessarily include all of these, come up with the best, but perfect for a boyfriend who loves working out and gym motivation, husband who trains at the gym or fitness classes, men with fitness goals and strong mindset, gym lovers who wear motivational workout shirts. So like, these are specific examples, right? So when someone is searching, like, I want, and this is how ChatGPT and the AIs are teaching people to search. They know to get a better result, they're going to have to add more information in there, better inputs. So people are literally searching like, I want a workout shirt for my boyfriend who loves working out and loves to be motivated at the gym. Well, that encompasses this long tail bottom of the funnel scenario. So if you have this scenario in your listing and someone is searching that way, there is a high likelihood that your listing is going to show up, because you hit almost everything that they're asking for, right? So this is how we have to think about it. And these are the scenarios that we want to put in our listings. And the best way to do it is our description. We can do it a little bit in our title, right? We can get a little specific in our title. Our tags are naturally broad because you can only fit, I think it's like 22 characters. So that's fine. They're just, tags are meant for support. So that's the biggest shift. This is really, really, really important. So I'm going to write like a star. Holy smokes. I can't draw a star very good. So that's really the key with this listing refresh and new listings that we really want to keep in mind going forward, because you're going to start to get filtered out if you're not specific enough and you're too broad. Step 4 is really, okay, once we have our traffic figured out, we want to make sure to convert what we have. So here's some conversion tips, because a lot of people, they'll get the traffic and then people still aren't buying and they wonder why. So first is value, perceived value in your listing. You want to make sure that you're going above and beyond with your listing, showcasing your item. Pictures are a great way to do that. Your video, social proof in your listings. So just make sure that, and this is really a combination of the two. Value is not only how you're explaining it, but how you're portraying it in the pictures and in the video. But also, like, what are you offering that your competition isn't offering? Are you offering bonuses, extras? Are you making the perceived value better than the price, so people are willing to convert? And you can convey value terminology and how it's crafted, how it's created, the materials, but also how you're showcasing it. Are you showing it being packaged? Are you showing reviews of other people talking about how they love your stuff as social proof? So those are all things that are important for people to make a buying decision. And you can also look at your competition. A lot of things there are people selling things that are similar to yours. What can you do that's better than what they're doing? What can you offer that's a little bit a notch ahead of what they're doing? So try to think that way. A lot of people are like, I want more sales, but they're not thinking, how can I improve and be better than what is currently out there? So that's another way. And like I said, social proof is another way. Make sure you're including your reviews in your pictures section. Even in your description, you could include a review or two as social proof to help convert. So those are the things that aren't going to cost you necessarily anything extra, but the extra attention to detail with how you're portraying your items and setting yourself apart. Because I go in and see just kind of put a dot on this point, this bullet point is I'll go in and look at some listings and people are struggling. There's 5 pictures, no video, 2-sentence description. That's not going above and beyond. So take the extra time. You got this far to make your item. Take it to the next level. Take the extra time with your pictures, your video, your description. And there's tools. I talk about a lot of the tools that you can use, AI tools, mock-up tools, to improve this greatly. And it's a lot easier than it ever has been before. You just have to decide to use these tools and really improve what you're doing. So those are the 4 steps. Start implementing those right now. You're going to, if you do, I guarantee you're going to see a lot more traffic, and it's going to shift kind of how you're thinking about your listings going forward, so you can start to overtake your competition and just do a better job. So that is it for today. Hopefully you have an amazing rest of your day. I'll be back soon with some more good stuff for you guys.